Hi, all. We're gathered here today to celebrate the life of maybe the greatest faction that's ever existed in pro wrestling history. Sorry, this is hard. We're here to talk about Brother Xavier Woods, Brother Kofi Kingston, and Brother E, Big E as he's affectionately known. And it's just been a long time that these men have given us such a fulfilled 10 years of joy, of positivity, of making sure that none of us ain't booty. Whether it was coming down in unicorn horns, whether it was Xavier Woods playing on Francesca, whether it was throwing pancakes at the crowd, these men have put their all into making sure that we've all enjoyed whatever it is that we've done. And with that said, I have my all black on. I'm going to try to get through this and let's see if we can just talk about what's going to happen with their anniversary coming up on Monday. What's going on, y'all? It's your girl Yana, back at it again with another video. Welcome back to my channel. And this is what I think is going to happen with the New Day. I'll be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of the New Day starting out, but sometimes you just have to let things cook, you know? I wasn't sure where they initially were going to go because they started out with the preacher gimmick, and I don't know. I was like, this does not have a long shelf life at all. But here we are. Come Monday, like this is going to be their 10-year anniversary. And, the seeds have been planted for a while now. So we've kind of seen over the past number of months now that the split was imminent. And we've kind of seen how Xavier Woods has kind of been like going deeper and deeper into darkness. His attire has gotten darker. He doesn't want to be as cheerful anymore. He wants to win by any means necessary, whether it was pinning Rey Mysterio by unsavory means or just kind of talking down to like Otis and Tozawa, and yeah, it's been wild. And so I think the segment from last Monday, which was excellent, it was excellent. Like, honestly, I don't think it could have been any better. Like, there were no notes, there was nothing. I was just like, dang, like they should have added this. Like, it was a 10 out of 10 segment, home run, slam dunk. And I first of all, when I was watching it, I literally got emotional. I was just like, oh my God, like y'all, because it feels like when your favorite cousins are arguing and like, they're always the one that brings everyone together. They're the happy-go-lucky cousins. It feels like that. Or it feels more like when you see two best friends squabbling, but then you might be like the third best friend, but then you kind of have to play devil's advocate and you don't really know what to do. So you're kind of like, I have to kind of take both of their sides. That's what it felt like to me as the viewer. And come Monday, I feel like there's different directions this could go in, right? I feel like there may be 4 directions this can go in, okay? Like, I know everyone's pretty much banking on the fact that Xavier is going to be the one to turn because that's kind of what's been alluded to. That's how it's been built lately. But I don't know. It could also be smoke and mirrors. It could be a swerve, like, yes, I think his character is going to be permanently a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more opportunistic, but I do think that there's the possibility he could turn. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2, I feel like it could have been a swerve and maybe Kofi is the one that turns. Why? Who really knows, but he did kind of allude to the fact that he was asked to join the group, especially because he was a veteran, because his career went nowhere, but then he did become WWE champion. And, maybe it's one of those situations where he's like, hey, I was already doing a lot on my own. Like, I don't need you. I don't need E. And then he could just turn. Do I think that's going to happen? No, because I kind of think that maybe the writing is on the wall for Kofi's career within the next maybe like several years. I could be wrong. I mean, he is in his 40s. So there's that one. The third option could be E returns. Okay, E returns, and whether he decides to wrestle again is totally up to him. Because if I remember correctly, I think it was in a podcast. I don't remember what podcast it was or interview, whatever. I think he alluded to that he is clear to wrestle, but I think he doesn't want to chance hurting his neck again, because we've seen what's happened with the likes of Saraya, formerly known as Paige, Daniel Bryan, known now as Bryan Danielson, and also with Edge or Adam Copeland. And I don't know, like, yes, those, they all were able to come back, but I don't know if he wants to chance that. And he's also stated that he's very comfortable with what he's doing as far as like being in broadcasting. And I think he's been doing a bang up job with that. So if he returns, obviously, like, I'll be very happy. If he doesn't, then that's okay. But if he does return, maybe it'll be one of those things where he turns on Xavier and Kofi, because they could also do a revenge angle where they could be like, oh, well, neither one of y'all came to visit me. Y'all didn't talk to me. Y'all didn't check up on me. Blah, 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 blah. And so, yeah. So I think that's an angle they could go. Do I think it's possible? Maybe, but I don't know if that would be the best way to bring E back, especially considering how he went out. So there's that. And then the fourth option is that no one turns on anyone, and then they all, just become a group again, and the New Day just continues as we've known it for most of this time. So I don't know. I kind of feel like them coming back together as a combined unit is the least likely scenario, but I do think the most likely scenario is that Xavier turns. Now, what would that mean for Xavier? So I do feel like this would lead to an Xavier Kofi feud, which is something we've obviously never seen before. Obviously, Kofi would be the babyface, Xavier would be the heel, and you don't even have to have a title or anything involved, but I do think to get Xavier into that next step of maybe getting into the title picture, then he would need to go over Kofi. And I know Kofi would be more than happy to take the pin for him. And you can obviously make the case with him beating Kofi. He might not even necessarily be confined to the mid card. Maybe that'll propel him up to the world heavyweight title picture. I feel like that would just be like a really good feud to have. Obviously, the two of them know each other very well. What would happen from there for Kofi? Well, if Kofi loses his feud, I mean, I don't want to say I think he would get lost, but I don't know if there would really be a place for him. Now, obviously, he could be kind of like in a Sheamus category where he's still like fighter for gold, but doesn't necessarily win. That'd be good just to put on like good matches, just to kind of help build up the newer generation and stuff. That's very much possible. So I think that's what'll happen if him and Xavier go into kind of a blood feud, right? Also, if you're gonna have this blood feud, I think just so that E isn't necessarily coming back as like a full-time wrestler or even a part-time wrestler in that regard, I think it would be interesting to have him as kind of a special guest referee for when they have their match. And so who knows? Obviously, this would need to be on like a pay-per-view type situation, because it's like three of them together were like very high merch sellers, and there were people that obviously the audience will want to tune into. So I feel like it wouldn't be any different with Xavier versus Kofi. And so, yeah, again, just kind of having Big E is like a special guest referee, obviously being someone that's unbiased, but like it would also put like a wrench in the character of Big E, because like obviously he would be torn, because he's like, well, obviously I would have to count against one of my brothers, which I think would be a very interesting dynamic in the feud. And then, so like, let's say that Xavier loses this match and like he loses the feud. That could also be more ammunition that could lead to Xavier's further descent into darkness, because now he would feel like he has something against him, because obviously like he would count Kofi is the winner if Kofi pins Xavier. And so I feel like that would be like a very good way to kind of like really finalize the fact that the New Day is gone. And so I don't know. These are all just kind of like brain worms. These are all things I'm thinking of in the moment. But I don't know. I just thought it would be really interesting to kind of see what could happen with that. I feel like this is going to be a very, obviously, very emotional episode. Because I think, if I remember correctly, they're building the whole episode around the New Day because it's like 10 years. So I would think that that means, like, when they did the DX tribute show, like, I feel like that means that they would just kind of like put little things of like their past in there, just kind of like their formation, you know, their brightest moments, obviously them being 11-time tag team champions. Yeah, Kofi Mania, Biggie winning the WWE Championship. They're gonna put all of those moments in there. I do kind of feel like this whole anniversary, like when they do it out in the ring, is gonna be similar to the Festival of Friendship in 2017. So I don't know. It's just gonna be very emotional. I'm gonna be very sad. I gotta get my tissues ready, y'all. I don't know. Like, this is literally like the on record the longest tenured faction of all time. 10 years. Like, DX didn't last that long. NWO didn't last that long. I don't know. So I am just ready. Whatever happens, it'll happen. And change is good, y'all. Change is good. This is only going to serve to help build up Xavier, I feel like, more than anything. Because, like, Kofi obviously doesn't need it. He's already solidified himself. He's Grand Slam champion. He's had his time. So now it's time for Xavier. So yeah, I'm just excited to see what happens in the future. But otherwise, that's it, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you like this video. Let me know what your thoughts are on this whole situation. Let me know what you think will happen. Let's talk about it. I'm very excited to talk about it with y'all. But yeah, y'all, that's it. There's no real like format to this. This is just me rambling and talking. But yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next video, y'all. Bye.